Okay, so you just got your real estate contract and you open it. You're excited until you realize that it's about 17,000 pages of legalese and you don't know where to begin. Stay with me. I'm going to show you how to read this contract and make it meaningful. All right, so the first question I want to answer is, do I really need to read this thing? Yeah, you do. This document is very important to the sale or purchase of your home, and although it can definitely be a little bit overwhelming, if you know how to read it, it's not too bad. So the process is going to start with an email from your agent with a link to your contract and usually some other documents as well. Click that link and your contract will open. As with most documents, start at the top. The printed portions of this form, except differentiated editions, have been approved by the Colorado Real Estate Commission. What this means is that the state has made it a lot easier for agents to do this right and given us fewer opportunities to mess up. When you look through the document, everything that's written in black was written by the state and is kind of the stock language. And then everything that's written in blue is the stuff that your agent put in, and also the check boxes can be selected by your agent. So just to recap that, if it's not in blue or it's not a checkbox, this black font means that the state wrote that language. So as we go through the contract, just note that I'm not trying to explain the document to you. I'm really just trying to help you understand how to read it. You need to make sure that you understand it and that you've discussed it with your realtor or attorney. So starting at the top, you're just going to start making sure that everything that's written in blue is accurate. Is my name written correctly? Is it the right house? Katy Perry and Bill Nye. I don't know if you noticed that, but I mean, match made in heaven, right? Anyway, as you move through, you're going to just read through, make sure you understand line by line, paying extra attention to those blue words and phrases that are written in and any checkboxes that are selected. Then you're going to, at some point, come to the dates and deadlines. So once you make it to dates and deadlines, you're getting to a very important portion of the contract, but I actually recommend you read right past it first. Applicability of terms. If any deadline in section 3.1, the dates and deadlines table, is left blank or completed with NA or the word deleted, such deadline is not applicable and the corresponding provision containing the deadline is deleted. So in other words, if there's not a date or deadline filled into the dates and deadlines table, that portion of the contract doesn't apply to your contract, which helps you know where to focus your attention. So coming back to section 3.1, dates and deadlines, when you look at a date or a deadline listed here, you're going to see the event to the left of it, but that event won't mean much to you. To understand it, you can go to the section that's referenced to the left of that. So for example, record title, deadline, and tax certificate, we have a date filled in, which means it is applicable in this contract, and it's listed in section 8. So we're going to come down to section 8, the reference section. We get to section 8, this is where we're going to find the definition of that event. Now the state has made this a little bit easier on us by putting key terms in bold so that you can find what you're looking for more easily. But now you know that section 8 is where you're going to find the definition of that event and also the explanation of what it means to you. So as you read section 8, you may have additional questions and you definitely want to take those back to your agent, but at least now we know where to find the basic definition of the event as it relates to your contract. So back to section 3. Once you've gone through and learned all about the events that are happening in your contract, we're going to scroll down here to section 4, purchase price and terms. Purchase price and terms is just what it sounds like. It's the purchase price and some of the terms. So this is where we're going to lay out how much the buyers are paying for the property that they're purchasing. Again, take a close look. So after you've reviewed section 4 and you're comfortable with the purchase price and terms, you're ready to continue reading through the rest of the contract. By now, a lot of these sections will already be familiar to you because you read them as a reference in section 3. But again, just read through everything. Make sure you don't have any questions. There is one other portion of the contract that I always like to point out, and that's section 29, additional provisions. This is where we have an opportunity to write in anything else that isn't already addressed by the contract. So if there was anything that you instructed your agent to put into your contract as a buyer, this might be where they put it. And sellers, you certainly want to pay close attention as well. Once you've reviewed this section, you're ready to scroll down to your signature section. Now, in order to sign the contract, Katy Perry is going to come in here and select signature font. That's one option. She can also just draw right on here, Katy Perry with a heart. Perfect. Once she's satisfied with her signature, either hand-drawn or signature font, she'll click Save. And this is where it's going to ask you to confirm that you are signing electronically. By clicking Accept, your signature gets locked into the contract, and every other field of the contract is also locked so that nothing can be changed. If there are multiple buyers, they're all going to need to sign. If you're selling your home, the contract will likely have buyer signatures on it by the time it makes it to you, so at that point you'll be reviewing everything as well, and if you and your agent agree on it, you'll go ahead and sign. And that's it. Now that you understand the basic structure and function of the contract, you can dig in, make sure that you're comfortable with all of the terms before you move forward.